Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Business Spotlight. Joining me today is Dan Houston, who is president of Agriplay Ventures. Thanks for joining us today, Dan.
No problem, Mario. It's nice to finally meet you after reading all your articles for so many years.
Oh, thank you. So I'm curious, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I think you guys got some a really unique and interesting and innovative company there. So tell me about Agriplay Ventures and what you guys do.
Yeah, well, I mean, Agriplay Ventures is a elevated urban farm. It's the next evolution, basically, of vertical farming. And what we do is we have developed an entire new tech stack that allows us to take underutilized or defunct infrastructure or commercial buildings and turn them into productive local vertical farms that service the community. It came out of us having a long conversation. I mean, we've all gone through a lot over the last 2 years, 3 years, I guess now, with COVID and some of the other unfortunate things going on right now. But food security was a big thing for us, both of us, my partner Adam and myself. And we realized that COVID's proved that long, lean supply chains, while efficient, they're really very, very unstable and fragile. And that's not a position. It's fine for an inconvenience if you're trying to buy some silicon, but if you need food, that's kind of something that you can't really handle. Yeah. Right? And so that was the genesis on why we decided to create Agriplay, because we thought vertical farming is obviously the way of the future. So that you're not subject to the same. In Calgary right now, as an example, it's there's feels like 1.5 feet of snow that showed up overnight again. Those are the kind of things that at no fault of a farmer, the supply chain, weather, droughts, which we might have again this year. Yeah, all of these things lead to issues with production, and vertical farming is the solution to that. But unfortunately, it's not really scalable in its current form. It doesn't really solve the larger picture of food security. And that's why we came about.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, Dan, and your background and how you were led into this, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always been a tech nerd. I like to joke around. I've been involved in that forever as mostly a hobbyist up until the last 5 years. Before that, I was a commercial broker for downtown office leasing and some sales. And, I loved my clients, loved everything I was doing, found it very interesting, but really decided to leave about 5 years ago from the real estate world and kind of get into technology. And the joke I made was when I left, I got to wear a hoodie every day, and I got to come in and code and play around with tech, and I never had to talk about commercial real estate again. And so now here we are 5 years from now. I have to wear a business suit and I have to go down and talk to all the landlords about commercial real estate again.
Funny how things work out in life, right? Yeah. So one of the things that's been big in the city and in the province for the last few years is diversification, and I think a lot of that has come because of the downturn in the oil patch, although the oil patch has returned recently. But are you excited about contributing to the quote unquote new economy here in Calgary?
Very much so. I'm actually a 4th generation Calgarian. I've had some people say jokingly I'm a unicorn, because there's not a lot of people that have been here for that long. I really want Calgary to succeed. I always have. In fact, like I was saying, 5 years ago, actually, it started after the market kind of changed in later October of 2014. Yeah. That's when I started going, like, the diversification really has to happen. And it felt like, people have always talked about it, but it wasn't really put into action. I think the city's got some brilliant ideas about where they're going with it right now. I like the focus and the energy on it. And the fact that Agriplay can come in and basically turn it in, really what we're trying to do is revitalize that entire energy of the downtown core. There's going to be a large part of the different facilities that we will have coming back and forth, and people being able to have an element of agritourism to that as well. Like, it's going to be a really neat thing. I'm tremendously proud of the team, and I'm really looking forward to being able to contribute back to Calgary, the city that I love so much.
So I understand your first location is at the Calgary Tower Centre. Tell me a little bit about that, what's there and why you chose that site.
Yeah, well, I mean, so we actually had another site lined up. We've been talking to landlords for a while now. The Calgary Tower is kind of that perfect marquee opportunity. I mean, when you're talking about revitalization, what better than Calgary Tower Centre, largely untouched since 1968, right? Like, so it's a marquee property. It really speaks. It's great for talking to people about Agriplay and in general what it can do to revitalize the space. It was really the thing that got us going on is Aspen Properties. They've been and their partners phenomenally supportive. Very entrepreneurial landlord, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah.
And just loved working with them and their team. It's been amazing. They really brought us there and showed us the benefits. But one of the things that I love in terms of it being a showcase facility is, we've taken about 65,000 square feet there. We've got options on the whole east wing. But what I love about it is that it's an older infrastructure that requires a lot of workarounds and planning to make sure that it works. And that would be basically our rough case scenario for snapping in place in any other building. So it's a great showcase, not only of the technology and the fact that you can grow all these things, but it's also, if you can do it at the Calgary Tower and a 1968 infrastructure, you can do it anywhere. And that's really why we focused on it as well.
So you mentioned growing all these things. So what can you grow in an office building or any other type of building, I guess?
Well, typically you can't grow anything in an office building because there's so many challenges to it, right? But we have 150 different varieties of crops that we're able to grow right now. We are hoping that next year, some of the second and third iterations of our technology stack will allow us to do roots and that. But, we're doing it in 3 phases. First phase, we're hoping to have it up and running for some government showcases for Stampede. With Invest Alberta and the Calgary Economic Development, hopefully having them and their clients come through to take a look. And then the second and third phase will be finished by the latter part of Q3, Q4 this year. But we're growing strawberries, cucumbers, tomatoes, some leafy greens. Basically everything that the general store would want. And in some cases, some of the partners that we're talking to, some of the charities as well. Food security is not just for people that can pay. Sometimes it's people that are a little bit down on their luck. And so we've got a real heavy emphasis as well on supporting some low-income memes as well to make sure that those people get access to food too. So whatever they need us to grow, that's what we're going to grow.
So are there any others in this field?
Others as in other farms?
Yeah.
No, not really. You've got some vertical farms that we're looking at. If you're talking about like usually vertical farms, because they've got like a heavy power requirement and heavy machine form locked kind of containers or generalized large systems that they need, they require an industrial facility. They require heavy loading, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So the real challenge for us when we developed our stack was making sure that we were super energy efficient, but could do above and beyond everything that the high wattage lights and everything that the systems and the automation was based in such a way that you could do it without a huge increase in labor. But not a lot of building conversion / any really happen. Mostly it's built to like brand new build as use facility or the conversion of existing warehouse or industrial to the use. Kind of like Goodleaf actually. Goodleaf just announced a while ago with Invest Alberta. I think it was a 74,000 square foot grow operation that they went there as well.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it's great because we want that entire ecosystem to be flourishing in Calgary and Edmonton and Alberta. I had a few people say, is that concerning to you? I said, no, absolutely not. I just won't grow that lettuce.
Yeah. So, one of the issues that any business in Calgary or almost anywhere these days really is labor shortages. I'm wondering what you're doing as a company to attract talent to help you grow the business. Pardon the pun.
That happens a lot. I have been absolutely blown away with the response, both from the business community, but also the people that want to kind of help us and join. They see the vision that we've got. They see the community-based local focus on food security. We just put out a few teaser job applications for people that we're looking to hire coming up right away. And we actually had to turn it off after 2 days because we had so many people flood in to apply.
Wow.
The other thing is we're a very different company. Like we're trying to be capitalism with a soul, right? So we're trying to emphasize, because one of the other things that I really believe in is retraining is another thing that really has to happen. And so the whole system that we've developed is actually removing all the tribal knowledge that's involved and allowing anybody to come in, and then we have a process that allows them to, again, no pun intended, grow their own skill sets so that they're actually able to, as their interest aligns, make more money, sure, but also gain new skill sets that allow them to go off and start their own Agriplays.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're really trying to do. Like we're really trying to focus on a fortress strategy here in Alberta. We have some very big, lofty goals. But then outside of that, we've got licensing discussions already in effect where people want to start that up even on the other side of the world. So we need to make sure that all of the labor that comes in is being transitioned in a way that they can go out and benefit the entire team and the entire Agriplay family.
Yeah, exactly. So recently you signed an MOU with Invest Alberta, I understand. What does that mean?
Shout out to Invest Alberta, because they've been, again, I couldn't have asked for better partners in trying to help push us in front of the right people. Invest Alberta, we've been talking to them and Calgary Economic Development for quite a while. And Invest Alberta came around, and the MOU is basically a formalized arrangement. And it specifies exactly what we're kind of raising, who we're talking to, what they're going to be helping us out with. But their goal is really to connect us. It's kind of like a vote of confidence saying, yes, we've looked into these people. We know they're legitimate. They're not just, two farmers with a dream, that kind of thing. They've come through and had the tour. They've gone through all of our technology, and they're just really giving us those opportunities to handshake with the people that matter, and opening some doors so it makes it easier to talk to people. That's what it's all about.
All right, super. And lastly, Dan, can you talk a little bit about your growth plans, your vision for the company in the future?
Yeah, it's the exact numbers are probably announced a little while ago, but I can say that it's currently in discussions with a number of other buildings that we're looking already. We're hoping to expand to a few million square feet over the next, I should have some announcements by the Stampede event when we open. But really, it's going to be a few million square feet in Alberta for sure as a fortress strategy, where this is all us and this is what we're growing.
Yeah.
And then, like I said before, we've actually already got discussions for licensing going on, because I mean, we grow and we scale very fast. We've done it before in a lot of number of companies, but 92,000 local community markets in North America is just not feasible for one person to do. And since we really believe in that food security challenge and problem, licensing strategy makes all the sense. So we're already in localized discussions with a number of groups around the world to kind of do that expansion. And the beauty is that, I mean, it still leaves lots of room even here in Alberta for us to work with new vertical farms and the rest of it. Because like not a lot of people know this, but Alberta and a lot of markets in Canada and around the world, 98% of everything, all the greenhouse vegetables that you consume at your table are all imported. Mm-hmm. So it's an uncontested opportunity for us to kind of bring all that production back locally. So it's really exciting, and everybody all over the place sees the value. So.
Okay, well, I look forward to hearing all about the developments with the company in the near future. Thanks, Dan, for joining us today.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mario.
All right.
And keep tuned.
All right, that is certainly well. Super. That was Dan Houston, who is president of Agriplay Ventures. I'm Mario Toneguzzi. This has been Business Spotlight. Thanks for joining us today.